Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Rebecca, good morning. Good morning, Joey. Glad you guys are in here. A little tired this morning. Just got in bed about 2 hours ago. So had some a friend of mine's mom was in the hospital or in the emergency room and now in the hospital, and we've been hanging out in the emergency room waiting room for a while. So they figured out what was going on and just watching her now. So we are November the 9th, 2024, and we're going to be in Proverbs 9 to coincide with that date. And let's get started, y'all. Proverbs 9, the way of wisdom. Verse 1 through 6 has a note. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out of 7 pillars. She has slaughtered her meat. She has mixed her wine. She has also furnished her table. She has sent out her maidens. She cries, and out from the highest places of the city, whoever is simple, let him turn in here. As for him who lacks understanding, she says to him, come, eat of my bread and drink of my wine I have mixed. Forsake foolishness and live, and go in the way of understanding. And the note on that says, those who respond to wisdom's maidens and choose her gracious banquet, though they may lack understanding and moral experience, will soon see a change in themselves. Wisdom is like a palace or temple with pillars reminiscent of Solomon's temple. Pillars give a building lasting strength and beauty. Nothing about the harlot's ways endures. Verse 7 through 12 has a note. He who corrects a scoffer gets shame for himself, and he who rebukes a wicked man only harms himself. Do not correct a scoffer, lest he hate you. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love you. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. For by me your days will be multiplied, and years of life will be added to you. If you are wise for yourself, and if you scoff, you will bear it alone. Now the note there, hey Avid, welcome in, good morning. The note there on those verses says, this section lies between two different kinds of invitations, each with its own destiny. Wisdom's banquet, 1 through 6, of the way of folly. And then chapter 9, 13 through 18, the wise person who sits at wisdom's banquet will be still wiser, because wisdom begets more wisdom. And then verse 10 has its own note, and verse 10 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. The note on that says, again, Solomon states that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Here, however, he explains the fear in terms of knowledge of the Holy One. For wise, skilled living in the world, God requires above all a right understanding of God's holiness and a reverent submission to his ways. Now, verse 13, the heading there is the way of folly. Verse 13 through 18, which is all of the chapter, has a note. We'll read the verses and then we'll come back and read the chapter. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knows nothing, for she sits at the door of her house on a seat by the highest places of the city, to call to those who pass by, who go straight on their way. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. And as for him who lacks understanding, she says to him, stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he does not know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of hell. And that note on that section says, the power of foolishness is presented here in the form of a seductress. She may be clever, acquainted with the ways of the world, and crafty, yet she is blind to spiritual realities. Her brazen ways and exciting or clamorous talk may be persuasive, but persuasion does not equal permission in the Lord's eyes. The fact that the woman omitted her pleasures, stolen water, were wrong should be the Christian's signal to flee, no matter how tantalizing that may seem to the flesh. And that wraps up chapter 9. Let's jump over into Ephesians chapter 6, verses 10 through 20. And let's put on our armor, y'all. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Therefore take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and having shod your feet with preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked one, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, being watchful to this end with all perseverance and supplication for all the saints, and for me, that utterance may be given to me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in chains, that in it I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. And now we are prepared to face our day. I have to, or I get to, actually, don't have to. I get to, good morning, Joy. I get to go to the church and cook breakfast for a bunch of men now. And after that, I believe I'll come home, take a nap. So God bless each and every one of y'all. I challenge you guys to go be a blessing for someone else today. And we will see you again in the morning. So have a blessed, great